There are not many relationships at a university that are so personal as the teacher-student relationship in music lessons. And over the course of time, I see a lot of growth. Their personalities start coming through. They understand what the music is all about. And this is really what's important. They need to have their own ideas after a while about what is in the music, what they want to portray in each piece. And to see that happening from a freshman who doesn't really know what they want to do to a seasoned junior or senior who has a lot of great ideas, that's very encouraging. And as time goes on, more is expected in each lesson as far as their own work, what they bring to the music, what they bring from their other classes, theory, history, ensemble work, chamber music, all comes together, I think, in the lesson, and that is a key part of growth in students.
Part of the fun of being a piano professor is being able to work one-on-one with students, usually over 4 years. And it's part of the challenge, as well as the fun, is dealing with each person's individualities, each of their individual talents, where they're headed, what they'd like to do with their music, and to, I think, primarily to help them express what they want to express in the music, giving them the tools to do that. I think we're all born with the need to express ourselves somehow. We want to make our mark. And those who choose music, I think it's our job to help them to find that. Every person who comes in is an individual with different strengths and different problems and different musical ideas. I try to help them find a way to make their own ideas convincing. Oftentimes, the problems that young pianists have who arrive are physical. They tend to be tense, even when they're not playing the piano. Even the preparation to play the piano can sometimes be tense. And then when they start to play, there's tension in the body that keeps them from expressing themselves freely. And this is something that I also try to help them with, understanding, breathing of the body. And you can't play a note without having a certain amount of tension. But it's the constant tension and never relieving that tension that usually ties people in knots and keeps them from being able to express what they want to express in the music. And I find that sad. So I try to help them with that.
At JMU, for the undergraduate level, we offer an accompanying class. The performance majors have to take it for 6 semesters as a minimum, and non-performance majors for 2 semesters. And the great thing about our program is the students' work in the accompanying is monitored through the class. It's basically a masterclass format. What is unusual at James Madison is that we offer a performance degree that is an emphasis in accompanying or collaborative piano. And that's very unusual in the States. I suspect there are probably 2 or 3 programs that offer this. And we do call it a regular performance degree. It's just an emphasis in accompanying. Our students, I must say, graduate after 4 years of this class with an incredible repertoire for collaborative piano. And if it's not the repertoire they've played, they've heard an inordinate amount of repertoire through the class. When they apply for grad programs, what sets them apart from students from other universities is the fact that their repertoire is so large. And in order to get an assistantship for either a doctorate, a DMA degree in other universities, or a master's program, most of that work, or a lot of that work, has to do with collaborative piano. And typically for an audition, you have to prepare a number of pieces. And I've heard back from my students that oftentimes they already know the pieces, they've played the pieces, or familiar with the works that they have to prepare for their auditions. If one learns to breathe with singers and with wind instruments, it helps tremendously in one's solo playing. It aids in a more natural flow of phrasing and a better understanding of color. And the benefits of collaborative piano for me are endless, and I'm thrilled that my career has taken that path.
At JMU, there is a piano literature class that I teach for 2 semesters, and this is when our students learn styles and traits from composers from the pre-Baroque period all the way to the modern. We have lectures, student presentations, or sometimes videos explaining or showing, for example, what a saraband is like. We analyze scores. We also listen to music. I wish I actually had this class when I was younger. I do think it does help our students a lot to understand better what they are playing. Being Brazilian, I love to teach Brazilian music to my students. Rhythms, even our culture and colors. This is a great way for them to understand nationalism and how context and culture relate to music.
The facilities in the Forbes Center at JMU are first rate. They've been around for about 5 years now. I think that the recital hall itself is just a little gem. It's a beautiful room. The pianos are terrific. We have 4 concert grands, which are all in amazing condition. One of the nice things about the recital hall is the acoustics are adjustable. We can make it very wet for a singer and very dry for a lecture. Piano, we usually do about 50-50. It works out really well, but we can try different things with the pianos. So it's one of the nicest things about a performance. Students love to perform there. In fact, pianists are very fortunate. We get to go in there more than just for the recital. We have classes in there, performance classes, accompanying class, and we have area recitals where pianists play for each other. So we're in the recital hall. Every student's in there at least once a week, maybe 2, 3, or 4 times a week, and there is not a room that is better for performance. Practice rooms are terrific. We have 11 or 12 grand piano rooms which are dedicated to piano majors. They're locked, they're only reserved for piano majors. They're fantastic. We were able to get brand new Steinway Bs for most all the rooms. They're still in tremendous condition. We take very good care of them. You can work on everything in the practice room you can work on in the big hall because of the quality of the practice rooms.
Working in the piano studio, I really kind of get to tailor my curriculum towards being an education major, which is really nice, but the expectations are still really high, which is also really great as an ed major because I feel like I'm very challenged, which is wonderful.
My private study has been such an incredibly enriching experience and a great contribution to everything else that I'm learning in all of my courses. Of course, in the music education methods courses, we learn how to conduct a rehearsal and how to teach a piece of music and how to manage a classroom, but having the experience of the private study with my instructor on the piano has taught me so much about how to have those meaningful one-on-one interactions with students and build relationships with them, which is also just such a critical aspect to teaching.
Coming as a first year, everyone here has been so supportive in helping me transition from high school to college, especially my professor, just adjusting to the higher expectations of now being a piano performance major in college.
There is a group called the Keyboard Association, and part of their job is to provide opportunities outside of the academic environment to connect students and faculty on a more personal level. They host game nights and get-togethers after juries, and I think these really foster the sense of community and togetherness that we have here at this school.
We have a real feeling of solidarity amongst the students and a feeling of competition, but friendly and supportive competition. It provides exactly what our students need to really excel.